Hey everybody, welcome to Venture Vault. I am your DM, Richard Barlow, and we are coming back after this long break, and you probably noticed, you can see us! We are now on video. So say hi everybody!
Hi everybody!
Ooh, Dimension 20 That's fine. We love them.
Justice for college humor.
Yeah. We're just gonna have a moment of silence now for college humor.
I'll pour one out.
So yes, we are just getting back after our long break. So the gang had just come back from the island of Anuridae. They had gotten that bangle. They were having dinner, trying to figure out where they were going to go to next, when they were approached by a ship, and a very fancy lady stepped off that ship, studied the group, looked at Dietrich, and said, "Hello, brother." And that is where we left off. And so that is where we will start. I think I have everyone set up properly. Oh, can you get the guys who fell down just stand up? They're just all kind of around their ship.
You scared me so bad
the crew.
at the intro that I blew them all over.
It happens.
They're taking it back.
And then I believe she is on your ship, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Perfect. So that is where we left off. And that's all she says.
Cool.
So.
Can you describe her visually again?
Yes, so she is fairly tall. She very fair features, very, very pretty, very regal, beautiful, long, purple hair. And her, as well as the rest of the crew, all their uniforms that they're wearing are all very, perfect condition, perfectly clean. And you can see, obviously you're not looking directly at their clothes or, touching it, but you can kind of just tell that this is all very nice fabric that everyone's wearing. Everyone has, nice black leather pants and, your typical white pirate shirt, your kind of puffy shirt, and, a red belt. And she has the same, but she also has, a bit of armor and, very nice, shiny armor. Just a chest plate over her top as well.
Good. I appreciate that they're all dressed so well to meet us, because we're clearly in our best after coming off of a very muddy island.
Yeah.
No, we look good.
I'm pretty sure you all cleaned yourself.
No.
I don't know if you did.
I think very poignantly last time we played, you said, "I still haven't washed my dress."
I haven't washed my dress in
It's
who
because
knows how long.
Aleda started doing prestidigitation first, and Rune was going to do it, and then she was put out, and she decided not to, and decided to stay filthy herself. That is what
A child is what happened.
It's fine.
So yeah, that's where we are. And just a reminder on the ship as well, it is very, again, everything about it is perfect and pristine. The wood of it is black wood. So it looks a lot kind of like your ship, but the wood is this very nice black wood. And all the trimming is kind of done in gold around the ship. Cool. So she just said, "Hello, brother."
I was supposed to wait in Port Victor.
You see, she just looks at you and she doesn't, this whole time, even when she greeted you and everything, her face really hasn't changed. It's very stoic. And she just says, "You were."
Well, it's just, you see, it's a bunch of stuff happened and I got there.
She puts out her hand and just says, "Please, brother. It is fine. Are you well?"
I think so. Yes.
So, Celadir, am I finally canon or not? Am I... Oh, I've been sending messages and no one's answering.
All right.
Oh, you said that.
Right. Aleda's under deck. She got herself ready at the cannon because we didn't know who these people were.
So, fire? Yes?
Hold.
Oh.
But stay in position.
Okay.
So after she asks if you're well and you answer her, she just says, "I am very thankful. I went to Port Victor, and the state that it was in, it had me worried sick about you."
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you just now, that there were a bunch of skeletons, and I kept asking people there if I could go to the Feywild from here, and they thought that was ridiculous. So, I just kind of got swept up in the adventure, and then I left, and here I was, and here you are, and are you well?
I am better now that I know that you are safe. I came to find you and worried the worst. If you did come to Port Victor, then am I to understand that you are willing to take up your duties and come with me?
Oh, well. I hadn't really thought of it at all. I mean, well, you see.
Okay. Time out. Hi, I'm Rune.
He just kind of looks at you and you're Phil. She does not stick her hand out to shake your hand, and she just says hello.
What's this? What's happening? What?
Well,
Duty.
I was telling you all that I was on a journey. I found some letters that my father left to me, and this is my half sister, Imra, and well, my father was a very important man, you see, and well, he's not doing so well. So, and I fear to say this, but I don't know that I'm cut out to be a king.
A what?
What?
I understand.
You know,
It's a lot to be thrown at
yes,
somebody.
for sure.
And I wouldn't expect you to be ready right away. You haven't lived this life. You haven't been there. So I understand that it would take time, and I'm willing to teach you everything that we know and bring you back. That's why I think it's so pertinent that you come now, because there's much to learn, and I'm afraid without a leader, Evermeet will not hold strong for long.
Well, I can't go now.
Why?
Well, there's a lot going on, and I feel, well, I'm in no position to be a king. And, well, I feel like this is a bigger conversation to be had, and not just to... Do you want dinner?
I was going to offer you the same. We have food prepared. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to have you in my quarters so we could talk more privately about this. But your crew is welcome to join my men. Something has been prepared for supper that you would be more than welcome.
Yes.
Take the food.
Okay. Well, yes, we can dine on your ship if you would like.
Excellent. I'm very glad to hear that. If you would all be so kind as to come this way. And she walks back, and she kind of stands behind all her crew and just kind of lets you come as you will.
We get to eat again? Wow, this is a crazy day. Also, we get to meet your sister. This is fun.
Yes.
I love it. I didn't know you had a sister.
Oh, I didn't know I had a sister till, well, very recently, actually.
Okay. I don't know who my parents are.
Oh.
Have you only been speaking to your sister through letters? Have you met her before?
No, this is the first time. I didn't even really know what she looked like.
Are you comfortable going on her ship?
I think so. I mean, she's my sister, why wouldn't I be?
I'm gonna go get Alita, who's still... Downstairs, I have a candle. I'm ready! We're ready! We're doing this! No, you should come.
Do you know how heavy this is?
I'll put it down. And I'll just briefly explain Dietrich's sister. We're going somewhere. I'm sorry, I seem to have lost my voice. We're going somewhere else to eat. It's nice though. You get a break though, correct? That'll be good. It'll be good for the whole crew. I'm just gonna
Scurry away.
I follow.
Cool. So you all go across? What order are you going across?
I probably
Oh, it's like combat.
You go first? Okay. Okay, so since you're first, Emerald comes up to you and just kind of says, she reaches out her hand and she says, Dietrich, brother, if you would be so kind to follow me to my quarters where we can talk. And then she looks at one of her men and she says, they are open to anything, all the food that we have, they are more than welcome to. And then she looks at all of you and says, also, if you'd like a tour of the ship, anything you would like while you're on board, ask away, and my men would be happy to oblige. And then she takes you and goes to the captain's quarters.
Can I come before she
Yeah.
Dietrich away? I'm just gonna approach him and be like, don't feel pressured to do anything that you're not comfortable with.
Okay.
You're young. You have your whole life.
Thanks, Dad.
Just give him a little. Okay.
You will follow her
Okay, cool.
into her chamber.
So she follows, and you see, out of all the crew, they are, like I said, all in one uniform. There is one very large woman. Not large in, like she's just like, she is jacked. And she is in more armor than the rest. She has a spear and a bow, and like she's just like decked out. She follows you two, and then one of the men comes up and says to the rest of you, if you would kindly follow me, I will take you down to our dining hall.
Who is your cook?
Our cook is Sunar, and if you would like, and he like kind of looks at your spoon and like your apron and everything. He's like, you seem like you might be the cook on your ship. If you would like to meet
Very
Sunar,
astute.
then I'm sure he would be happy to have you in the kitchen.
Oh, I'd be delighted to meet him.
Excellent. So he takes you guys to the front of the ship, is where their stairs are. So you guys go down there. And then Dietrich, as you go into the quarters, as you enter, Emerald turns to the large woman and she says, please have Carthan bring us our food here.
We're not going to eat with everyone.
This talk may take a while, and the food is fresh now.
They might know more about the situation than I do, actually.
Maybe I would prefer at first to just talk to you, fill you in on everything that's happening, and then if you feel that you would like the rest to join, that is fine. There's just stuff about father that I think is
Private.
I would prefer to just share with you at first.
Right.
So she escorts you in, shuts the door, and then I will start with you guys, and we'll kind of cut back and forth. So the one man brings you down. He has like shoulder-length brown hair. Again, even his hair is like perfectly kept and everything. So he brings you down, and once you get to the second floor, you see on this ship, a lot of it is very similar to your ship. But unlike your ship, there seems to be 3 levels on this ship. So when you go down a level, you seem to be on the middle level because there are more stairs that keep going down. And then he just turns to you and he says, would you like to eat right away? Or would you like a tour of our ship? I know Emerald is very proud of our ship, so she would like me to show it off if we could.
Does this ship have a name?
This ship does. It is called the Royal Decree.
Really?
That's a great name. Our ship is called the Lady Chank.
And you cringed at our ship's name.
It's a little...
It's a little on the nose, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, my name's Drea. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Mort. And he shakes your hand. So, and then he looks at you later. He says, I will take you to the kitchen if you would like.
Thank you.
So if you'll all follow me, we'll drop her at the kitchen and then we will go on our way. So on the second floor, you walk back, and once you first get there, you're kind of in a hallway once you come down the stairs. and there's a door to your left and your right. He just kind of points. He doesn't take you in there, but he just kind of points out. He's like, this one over here is the armory. This is our storage room. If you, at any point while you're on the ship, need anything, we would be happy to get it for you. But the storage room is where you will find some more wine if you would like it, or a bit more food. If Sunar asks you to grab anything, this will be where you are coming.
Wait, am I working or is this? I thought I was told this was a big.
Are you helping?
He's just one man in the kitchen. He is known if someone else is in there to ask if someone can grab him some onions or something like that.
I just wanted to know the situation. Not a problem.
We're not putting you to work.
No, I'm happy to show off my skills and even compare them.
Absolutely. So he takes you back. And then so when you pass, you go through a hallway, it's the same. It's got the cannons. This ship has 4 cannons on each side rather than 3. And you see there's like weird contraptions on the wall. Mort points out, he's like, this is something we're very proud of. Our cannons reload themselves. I know it can be challenging during a battle to lift those cannonballs, and we have had some very crafty gnomes make us a contraption to reload the cannons automatically. We just like to brag. I'm sorry. He walks back.
Very impressive.
So he takes you. There's a door to the left. He goes and it's just a swing door. He swings it open and he says, "This is our kitchen. If you would like." And he yells at Suna, "We have another chef for you to show off your skills to, or maybe she would like to show off her skills to you."
Oh, I'm sure we have plenty to teach each other.
Yeah, cool. So he lets you go in, and then he brings you guys to a door on the right, and same thing, it's just a swing door. It opens, and there's this grand dining table there that has a space for way more people than the crew that you have seen on this ship, but he just kind of gestures for everyone to sit, and he says, I believe the food will be ready soon. However, sometimes Sunar gets caught up in his cooking, and it takes a little while.
Did we lose a lady? She's in the...
She went to the kitchen.
Okay. Alright, just confirming.
Of course.
Alright.
Ooh, so does that mean we can go on the tour before it's time to eat?
I could show you the rest of the ship, yes?
Yes. Oh, this is the fanciest place I've ever been. And I've been on another ship. I've been on 2 whole ships now.
Incredible. So he'll go. You go in the kitchen, and look, you hear someone working away, but you don't see anybody. And then give me a perception check.
He's an invisible man! Amazing! 19.
19?
And, hold on, that's what I rolled. And,
whatever you add to it, you're
yeah.
gonna be fine to see.
It's a dirty
So
one.
you can hear from like the back corner. That's where like obviously something is happening, and then you just kind of hear someone kind of muttering to themselves, and then you see from the counter just a little chef's hat go, and like you can't. It's just the top of the hat, and then he comes running around the corner, and you see a little dwarf there with a chef's hat and a knife and a little coat. And he just goes, "Oh, bonjour, welcome to my kitchen."
In Dwarvish I respond, that is the strangest dialect of dwarf I have ever heard.
Oui. You can tell his English, his common's not great.
I will speak in Dwarvish to him if he
Cool.
speaks Dwarvish.
Yeah, he speaks Dwarven.
You speak Dwarven? I speak, yeah, I do.
You notice even when he speaks to you in Dwarven, even that has like a weird accent to it.
Fascinating.
But yeah, he is like very caught up. He doesn't talk to you too much. He like kind of just very quickly going and chopping things, and like at each spot he has like a little stool that he like hops up to the counter at to like chop something and hops down, and he just goes at like the speed he goes doesn't make sense for like him being a dwarf and having to like hop up and everything, but he knows his kitchen in and out, and you can see that he has like a system.
Excellent. I tighten my apron, I use prestidigitation to sanitize my hands, and I start helping him, and I say, yes, chef. Yes, chef. How can I help?
He like goes, he just starts throwing you vegetables for you to chop.
I get advantage with my cook's utensils and abilities.
Suddenly, like a level of fruit ninja.
It's Fruit Ninja and we're doing Master Chef now. This is what we're doing. Great.
Cool. Yeah. So that's what you're up to, and then we'll cut back to Dietrich and Emerald. So once you get into the room, she just pulls there's a desk there that she has like a map spread out on. There's like a globe. There's like everything you would expect to be in a captain's quarters where they're navigating and everything like that. There's some bookshelves and stuff. And out the back side of this, it's at the back of the ship, so there's this big window there that you see the ship. It's not sailing because you guys haven't left yet. So she pulls out the chair that's in front of her desk, like on the other side that she was sit at, and just says, "Please, have a seat."
Sure.
And then she sits on the other side, and she says, "So, you're aware of what has happened to Father?"
Has it happened yet?
He has passed. And so unfortunately, that leaves us without a leader. You were his only son, and honestly, we didn't know about you until he had gotten sick. And that is when he informed us and when he started writing to you. And then I wrote the letter in his final days because I knew he didn't have the strength to write another letter. He could barely hold a pen in his hands.
So you didn't speak of me before then?
Not to me, and not to Mother. I imagine the life he had before. Royalty is hard, and not always the most accepting. So, to have a child outside of the marriage that he was currently in, where he held his royalty, there are risks that come along with that. Potentially, the people would not choose to follow him anymore if they knew such a thing. There are also, with royal families, there are enemies. We don't have many. Father was very good at keeping the peace. But there are always those who would wish to harm someone who is related to a king. So I imagine it was partly to protect you.
I know I may look it or seem it sometimes, but I'm not naive. I know how old members of my troop used to look at me like I was a problem. Aren't you worried that a bunch of elves might look at me like I'm a problem?
I would be lying to you if I said it's not going to be tough. That there will be people that we need to win over in your favor. But you are the rightful king. And those who choose not to accept it, we can deal with that as it comes. There are many who would welcome you as the king. You are the only one, you are the only male, the only heir to the throne.
It's a lot, you know.
It is. It's a lot for anybody. I mean, before we knew there was someone else, we thought either it would have to be me or I would have to find a husband. And even me or anyone who I may choose who grew up knowing that it would be a lot. So I can only imagine what you were going through, having this sprung on you recently.
Well, Emerald, you're the most regal person I've ever met. I don't understand why it wasn't you.
Unfortunately, the way the monarchy works, it just can't be. It has to be a male. A male has to take up the throne, and here you are.
I can't go with you.
Do you mind if I ask why?
I think my friends and I have stumbled upon something. I think a lot of people might be in danger. And how am I to lead to people if there are no people to lead?
She kind of smirks and she says, "You are very honorable. You are your father's son. What I will say, to try and convince you, if something needs to be done, if there's danger that you are taking on, if you take the position of king, you have an army behind you." And then we'll kind of leave there again. And then, so you guys, Mort is walking down, takes you down to the lower level, and he says, "This is where the bunks are." And he points at doors, and he just says, he's like, "I don't know what you guys have. We have our own little rooms each."
Wait, just for you? I thought I was excited when I got my own bed. Oh, God, this place really is fancy.
He opens up one door and he said, "This is my room." And it's very simple. It's just there's a bed in there and a dresser in there. And that's about it. But it's still like everything in there. Again, top quality.
Do you ever get lonely in there?
Of course.
He's like, we really just use it for sleeping. Like, there's, I mean, sometimes it does get lonely. But, we're not pirates. We're not out on the seas all the time. We go out when something is needed, like right now. We are here to get Sir Dietrich. And that is why we're out. But we're not out sailing the seas away from home for weeks or months at a time. So we do get to go home and see people.
Oh, that's good. Do you have a family?
I do not. I have many friends. I believe my friends are my family. And that is what I have. Maybe one day.
My friends are my family too. I don't have any family except for my friends. That's a good way to put it.
Friends are the family you choose. And he shuts the door and he says, "Please, continue." And then he takes you back and he shows you, this is a brig. And it's that one's just a brig. I mean, the only difference really between yours and theirs is theirs are steel bars, yours are wood bars.
Ours only has wood bars. We've had so many prisoners.
You've had one.
It's
We've
more
only
than
been
you've
on the
ever
ocean
had.
for like
A day?
yeah. That's a lot.
At this rate.
We'll imprison the whole sea.
The whole Nekkar.
No. It's a long time ago.
And that's, so he turns to you, he's like, "That's our ship. It really is just a basic ship, but like I said, Emerald is very proud of it and likes to show it off when we can. So, if you would follow me, we will go back up and maybe dinner will be almost ready."
Okay, let's go.
And then back in the kitchen, it's still just like, it's crazy in there. Like, he throws things at you. Did you roll for performance?
Oh man, I'm
With
nervous.
advantage.
Yeah.
It's food stuff.
Oh, it's 10 either way. But I get a plus. Oh man, it's been a while since I've read my notes. Oh, I get a +8. So it's 18 for my performance.
Cool. Yeah. So he's throwing things at you, and you just keep it going. But there are like, even when he's chopping, there's pieces of food flying everywhere. Like, you could tell by the end of a meal, this place is a disaster zone. It's like, the parts that he hasn't touched yet are pristine and perfectly clean. But the more he goes, he just makes a complete mess out of everything. But like, the food that comes out of what he does in that mess is amazing.
What kind of cuisine are we preparing together?
You are preparing.
You should know these are the questions I ask.
You are preparing some glazed salmon.
Okay.
And lovely steamed vegetables, but with lots of seasoning on it, and like all fresh seasoning. He like zests things right over everything. And then everything he's throwing at you is to make a salad, and he also has some fresh rolls in the oven that he is preparing with it as well.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll still leave you. At this point, you guys are almost done. Like you've pretty much prepared everything. You're just about to start plating.
Good.
And then back up to Dietrich. So yeah, she says you would have an army behind you who, as long as it doesn't hurt Evermeet, they would be even if it does, I would hope you wouldn't put us in danger like that, but they would follow your every word.
It's really big and I don't want to put anyone in danger, but I don't want to be a sad king on a lonely throne. I don't want that to happen to people. I'd rather be a dead king with honor.
And as I said, you are very honorable. That is a very honorable thing to say. Just as father would have done. What he did for Evermeet, he created peace. He opened up trade amongst all the cities. And he gave more than he received. All in the name of peace. He wanted people to love us, to love our people. And that is what he created. Of course, not with some enemies, but that is to be expected. So...
General.
Yes.
I'm a clown, you know that, right?
Don't be so hard on yourself.
No, I mean, literally. That's what I do. I've never even played a king. I've been lucky to play a princess every once in a while, but never a king.
She takes a moment and kind of thinks about this, and she says, well, then even the jesters will love you.
But are the people going to be okay with the jester on the throne?
There are things that people don't need to know. We don't have to tell everyone. If you believe that the clown would not be accepted, we do not have to tell people that you are a clown.
But I like being a clown.
Then we can tell people you are a clown. Listen, you will be king. If people do not accept you, you can deal with them however you wish.
I'm very taken aback by all of this.
And then you hear the door behind you. There's just a knock. And Emerald says, please come in. And you see that big woman come back. And she is pushing a cart with the food that they have prepared. And a decanter of wine. And then along with her is another man, one of the crew who has like pure white hair and a little white goatee. And he takes the food, places it in front of you, and pours you both a glass of wine and puts it down. And so then the man leaves, and the big woman goes and shuts the door, but she remains in the room.
He like kind of looks at her, but then like leans forward and like smells the wine.
Do you want to roll for perception on the wine, or are you just...
No, he's just smelling it because
Okay.
he's not a drinker.
Okay. So she hold on. Oh yeah. She notices you get kind of like notice the woman And she just kind of like leans in as you're sniffing the wine and quietly says, she's like, "That can be very intimidating, I know, but she is here for our protection. She's the head of security.
I mean,
She
she
will
big
be-
women, it's fine.
She will be your head of security if you take the crown."
That feels strange.
It's a lot, and excuse me if I ever come off that I don't understand, because I don't. This has been my whole life. So I'm trying to understand how it would be with this being so new and thrown at you.
Emerald,
Mhm.
I have a more personal question.
Of course.
How do you feel about me?
I've only just met you.
That's true.
But she takes her glass of wine and raises it to you, and she says, "But we will get to know each other, and we'll get through this, and we will make sure that the right person is on that throne." And she cheers you. And then back in the dining hall, you guys are all sitting there. You have been served as well. Exact same thing, the wine, the food. You can be sitting or you can be cleaning the kitchen.
I am helping to serve all the portions. I would like to describe it. So because they have a large amount of spices, rather than a typical, like, I've done maple glaze and stuff like that, it's going to be a curry glazed salmon with the steamed vegetables done in a kind of very southern kind of chili flavoring, so a little spicier. The potatoes are riced and have retained just like a little bit of texture to them. The peels are also still in there for extra nutrients as well. And there is a splash of curry sauce on the side for people to add if they wish. And the bread are sweet bread rolls. Yeah. And there's a lemon custard for dessert. It's very important.
So after some of the crew serves you dinner, they kind of just stand around. They don't eat with you. They just politely stand
Is
there.
the crew? I know, like the chef is a dwarf, but is the rest of the crew like are the humans, the elves? Is it
They're
mixed?
elves.
They're elves.
They're elves, yeah.
Okay.
So they're all very fair, and these ones are all like fairly muscular. Like you can tell that they are. What I mean, you definitely would know. These are like
I was like, why? But yeah.
pretty big for elves. Like
Yeah.
like they work
Bigger
out.
than me.
They're swole.
No.
Sturdy stock.
So wait,
Cool.
so-
So they're standing and watching you guys eat, and you can hear. Give a perception check, actually, everyone at the table.
Wow, guys.
I'm too busy.
Wow.
My perception is +7, so I have a 10.
Okay.
I have a 3.
Okay.
Not one.
Not one. Alright. This food looks great, and you're right into it.
I'm far too busy serving. I also rolled a nat.
Okay.
Very
So you hear like a slight grumble,
We're just
but that's it.
Okay, so Ogrea turns directly around. She was going to do this anyway. She's like, "Do you want some?"
He just looks at you and he says, "That's very kind. Thank you. I would love some. However, it is customary for our guests to eat first."
Oh, but you guys can eat with us. We can all eat together. On our ship, everybody eats together.
It's true. Have a seat. Oh, wait, there must be more food.
I immediately grab rolls and go, well, if you have to stand guard, at least have roll.
The one, so there are 2 crew members in there with you. The one refuses it, and the other like kind of reaches out and takes it.
I would like
And
to
just
use sleight of hand to
Okay,
pass it
he
to
will
him.
also
Cool.
sleight of hand.
I'm not a thief. I'm not a thief.
You're already
a 3.
A 3? Okay, so you go to try to sneak it to him, and you like drop it, and then he like very sneakily like grabs it.
Great.
and just
Those elven reflexes.
and just like starts eating the bun. And like kind of you see him eyeing to make sure that the other guy isn't glaring. Like obviously that pass off, the other guy knows that he has a bun, but he's just making sure that he's not seeing him eating it.
Great. I am next to Greya, and I kind of just quietly go, like, there's something fishy about this.
Well, yeah, it's salmon.
Well, no, I don't mean the salmon. No, the food's fine. The food's great. I mean, like salmon aside, but like it's fine. I don't know, something else.
Do you not like your fish?
Elena is looking from the other side of the room, but I'm not saying anything.
Do you want more?
Oh, no, I was just wondering because you said it's besides the salmon.
Well, no, because something else is fishy.
Oh.
This is quiet, by the way.
Greya's not. She's like smelly.
And
I think it doesn't smell like fish, but not fish.
It doesn't seem weird to you?
Oh, you mean fishy like strange?
Yeah.
Oh, no?
You're maybe the wrong person to talk to.
I take Sunar aside.
Listen to you is not at the table.
I take Sunar aside and in Dwarvish I say like, children are such picky eaters. It drives me nuts.
I'm eating all of my vegetables.
Sunar just says to you back, he is like, in my kitchen, they eat what I make. No exceptions. And then he goes back, and just as frantically as he was making the food, he is now frantically like cleaning up everything.
I assist him immediately.
Okay, cool.
I start using prestidigitation to make it a little bit faster, but I try to do it discreetly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He just really prestidigitation.
He's busy.
He's in the corner like...
Okay, so then back to Dietrich. So they just cheers, and she brings the glass up to her lips. And puts it back down and just kind of looks at you like...
No, I've never tasted wine before.
There was no finer wine.
I wouldn't know.
Well, it's a good place to start. I will say, if you start with this wine, everything else may be a disappointment.
I don't think so. It'd just be new.
True.
Okay. I'm gonna like take a sip, but like very measly of a sip,
Okay.
and then probably like spit it back.
At least like gargle it in your mouth a little bit, like.
No.
So sorry, you spit it back in?
Yeah.
Okay. She just kind of like looks at the glass. Mm. If you're going to be king, you have to learn to drink wine. There are many occasions.
Was it rude? I'm so sorry.
It was a little rude, but these are the things we're going to work on.
It's not good. I don't want to change who I am. I like who I am. Even though some people might think I'm a bit strange.
Strange is fine. People think I am strange. People thought Father was strange when he decided to open up the trades in the way that he did.
Tell me
People thought he was crazy.
more about Father. No one ever talked to me about him. What did he look like?
He looked like an older version of yourself. A little more wise, maybe, but he was older. He had lived life. He always kept a smile on his face. Even though many of us in the royal family tried to hide our emotions, he was a happy man. And that is how he won over the people. And like I said, he did so many things. He villages, cities around us became stronger because of him. Because he offered almost everything we had to them. He was a good man.
Sounds like.
Cool. Back to the people that are eating.
We're all passed out on the table.
Who drank the wine?
I'm a child.
Bria has never drank wine in her life.
Yeah. Roll a constitution for me, please.
I will say, did you eat the food?
I ate
Vegetables.
Yeah,
Yes.
21.
Oh, I ate the food. Yeah.
Anyone who up to 6 servings that I choose when I serve people food that I have prepared, they get advantage on Constitution saving throws against disease or poisoning for the next 24 hours.
Am I being diseased or poisoned?
You don't know.
I'm just putting that out there. It maybe have no.
You get what advantage?
Advantage.
I'm not saying what's happening, but you roll again.
I'm scared. Well, the first one was better with a 15.
The first one was a 15?
Yeah, it was 50.
Okay, so like a minute after you drink the wine, you like get really, really, really drowsy. But you manage to stay awake. You're just like,
Might just continue like the.
yeah, you're just like almost dozing off of the table,
You're
but
like,
like,
man, I drank way too much.
Did you have some?
Oh no, Sister Gray always warned us about, alcohol and drinking. We were trying to be the pure things of the light, so not things that muddy your light. Not that I'm judging you for drinking. That was just what she always said. You do look very sleepy though.
This wouldn't be a good one to start with.
Dietrich, roll a perception for me, please.
Did you have the one?
19. It did bounce quite far, but
Actually, everyone roll perception for me.
Like at this point, I'm like, am I
Even-
gonna drink for
Yeah.
you?
Do I have disadvantage?
22.
No, it's fine.
Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled a nat
22?
one.
Okay.
24.
24?
Sorry, perception or deception?
Perception.
13.
13? Elena?
17.
17?
Oh wait, with a plus 1, so sorry, 18.
18? What was yours, sir?
1, which is very
One.
fitting.
Okay.
Only
And Rune, you were 13, you said? Okay. So everybody except Celadir and Rune noticed that the ship is fully sailing now.
I'm in the kitchen. I don't think I noticed.
You can feel it.
Oh, okay.
we're moving.
I'm just holding on to the wine glass, being like,
Did William and Thomas get invited with us?
They did not.
should.
Oh no, where are we going?
So you ask
Yeah.
Emerald if you're moving.
We're
She turns around and she says, I don't remember saying we were going to set sail again. Give me 1 minute. She stands up and
he tries to follow her.
okay, she turns around and says, please stay here. If I don't know if we're moving because there's danger around, I will come collect you in a minute, or I'll return if it's just a mistake, and I'll tell them to turn around and return to your ship. Please stay here.
Does the big woman stay with me?
The big woman is there. What did you roll for your perception?
22.
Okay. So you're kind of on high alert now, and you hear Emerald as she's leaving lean into the big woman and whisper, kill him. And she goes out, and Fairta turns around as she leaves and locks the door. And then all of you at this moment hear a bell ringing, and the crew members all draw their swords.
What?
You turn around and you see Sunar there with a little chef's knife.
Sunar!
And And everyone can roll for initiative.
Oh!
I just like knock Greya on the elbow, like, fishy! Oh, fishy! Fishy!
I don't think we're moving. I think we've all had too much wine. The room's spinning.
She turns and looks at you and just goes, "Oh, you son of a bitch." And I do mean that literally.
Oh!
You have too many friends here, and I don't like that.
No! Why?